Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to look at an easy way to add some more impact to our animations. We're going to be working traditionally, but these concepts can be applied even if you're working with rigs. Let's jump into Procreate and get started. Here we have a very basic punch animation, and it's super boring. We have our first key, our second key, which is the punch, and an in-between, which is right in the middle. Play it at 8 frames per second. You can see it's clearly punching, it's readable, but the punch doesn't look very hard. A few things we can do to kind of make this more impactful. And I think the first thing I want to do is give this guy some wind up. He's going to have to pull his arm back to get that hard impact. In animation terms, this is going to be our anticipation. So let's add a new frame. Zoom in a bit. So our line of action is like this. What I want to do is kind of reverse that before he throws his punch in my anticipation. So I'm going to draw just a simple line like this, and I'm going to bring his head. We're just going to be working in simple shapes right now. Right, I'm going to bring his head like this, really turn his body. He's still going to be looking this way. I'm going to bring his shoulders up. And his body's going to be hunched over like that. So we're really getting that nice switch in that line of action. So I'm not too worried about the volumes right now. I can go back in and fix that later. I really want to make sure that we're getting a nice line of action and that his legs are bending and he's throwing a lot of energy into his punch. Alright, so let's bend those legs a little bit. Let's pull his arm back. Right here. Again, just using simple shapes. His front arm just by his chin, like that. He has a nice wind up before he throws his punch. But when we play it, a little better, but we're still not quite there just yet. The reason this kind of doesn't really look that great just yet is because the spacing is pretty even between this and this frame. So if this is a timing chart, this is our first drawing, and this is our last drawing. We want our spacing to be very close together at the beginning. During the wind-up, we want that to be very slow, close together, and then have a big gap before he throws his final punch. This is going to add a lot of impact. So let's change our breakdown. Here, I kind of like the head and the body, but what I'm going to change is the position of the arm. The body lead like this, and let's have the arm drag behind. And already that's looking better. So he's leading with his chest and dragging his fist. Let's have his other arm out here like this. We can keep it open. And again, I'm just being very loose and rough. We can go and clean up these drawings after. Spacing in the fist is very close from this frame to this frame. And then there's a huge jump to here, and that really sells the impact. Here we can add something called an overshoot to the arm. So let's add a frame at the end, and now with the arm, we're going to recoil it back a little bit. So here, we're just going to bend the arm just a tiny bit and keep the fist like that. Move his head just a little bit forward, and his hair is going to come forward as well, because it's getting carried by the impact. Eve is like this, and his shirt is going to be this way. Right, so we're dealing with that momentum that he generated. Quick frame here. Now when we play, that recoil really adds to the impact of the punch. So basically we're finished with this punch. I like these frames. We're getting a nice impact here at the end. All that's left to do now is play with the spacing and the timing to kind of make it work even better. I think we can push the wind up a little bit more. So between here and here, let's insert a frame and have the fist slow even more. So his head is still going to be leading the action. Again, just basic shapes. His chest is going to be coming back like this. So the closer the spacing is, right, the slower things move. And the slower things move, the heavier they look. So we want to add a lot of weight to this character. Fist is barely going to move as his body comes forward like that. Have his arm stay here as well. Get that nice line of action, and let's play it. I'm going to go in now. I'm going to tie down these drawings. So I'm going to add a little bit more detail so they're on model. And I'll add a few in-betweens so we can play it at 24 frames a second. Okay, so this is the final tied down animation, playing at 24 frames per second on ones. So I added one in between here, right, to kind of slow into his wind up. I added another in between here to kind of cushion the wind up even more. And also here to slow down as he comes forward for the punch. And then that's it. So 3 in-betweens, and we have a pretty convincing hard punch. One thing we can try is, it's playing on ones right now. What if we select these frames and hold it for one drawing? So now the beginning of our animation is going to play on 2s, and then the end is going to play on 1s. Right, that really pops that punch, because it's going way slow at the beginning, and then the contrast from going from 2s to 1s really shows more. So first we played with the spacing, which was drawing our drawings really close together, and right now we just played with the timing because we changed how long each drawing was held for. All that really gives us a nice, powerful punch. That's it, guys. That's all I have for adding impact to your animations. A lot of it comes down to how you space your drawings. Right? Spacing them correctly is going to add more weight to your animation and make that impact more believable. Of course, the overshoot really sells how hard you're hitting something. Play around with it. Best way to get better is to practice. So thanks for stopping by. Any questions, comment them below, and I'll see everybody in the next video. Happy animating.